Okay, good morning, everyone. Today we are reviewing some science on Reddit. Just looking at the top headlines to see what's going on, what people are reading about, what people are interested in, and what's going on in the world of science. And obviously this is not comprehensive. It doesn't have everything that's going on in science, but it's some of the top articles that are being disseminated across the internet and gaining some traction. So that's what we're looking at today. I'm gonna go ahead and fix some of my settings right now, just to make sure everything is going according to plan. But I hope you're having a good morning. I've got my coffee here. I'm just gonna browse through this pretty quickly because it's almost work time, but I felt like kind of getting into it and seeing what we can talk about before it's time for us to go to work. So right now, perfect. Looks like everything's working well. If you are in the chat, feel free to say hi and jump in. But right now I'm just gonna look at the top one. So here we go. We got this one, which I did click on, by the way. Scientists have developed a way of predicting if patients will develop Alzheimer's disease by analyzing their blood. These titles that are added on Reddit are not always very succinct, but the model based off of these two proteins had an 88% success rate in predicting the onset of Alzheimer's. That's crazy. 88% in anything. It's really crazy. Now that's the headline. What does the data say? I don't know if we have access to this. Okay. Oh, good. Is this just the abstract? No, it's pretty long. Okay. So it's available in web form if you want to grab it. Okay. This is something I'd have to obviously read a little more into, but let's look at the abstract. We developed models for individualized risk prediction of cognitive decline and mild cognitive impairment, MCI, using plasma biomarkers of beta amyloid, tau, and neurodegeneration. Okay, so a total of 573 patients, and I'm going to increase the size in case you can't read this well. And go away, that. A total of 573 patients with MCI from the Swedish Biofinder Study and Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimaging Initiative, ADNI, were included in the study. The primary outcomes were longitudinal cognition and conversion to Alzheimer's disease dementia. A model combining tau phosphorylated at threonine 181, which I guess is P. So P is the phosphorylation of tau 181, right there, and neurofilament light, but not but not of beta amyloid 42 or 40, had the best prognosis performance of all models. Interesting. So they just found so their biomarker was just a phosphorylation of one of the little amino acids on the beta amyloid. Very cool. That sounds like a good test. Seems like it might be easy to do. I assume I've been out of the lab for a little bit, but I assume what they do is some sort of I wouldn't say Western, but some sort of antibody marker to try to find that specific protein. But I would read in here. Let's go to methods just to see how they did it. So this is the prospective study part, right? Now I don't see where they did the analysis of it. So data availability maybe. It said plasma and CSF data. Interesting. So it seems like this was probably a known marker of something in the past, so they would have been testing for it before. That's my thought. I could be totally wrong. I'm wrong very often, so that wouldn't be crazy, right? It would not be crazy. What we got? Yeah, I definitely have to read through this because it's not very light reading, but I'm really interested in seeing where that goes. So upvote and save that bad boy. Okay, scientists have developed a cancer treatment method that destroys tumor cells using the mechanical force of our body's own T cells. Interesting. Okay. They have just completed a proof of concept lab. Okay, so this is proof of concept. That's interesting. Seems really early, right? So in general, for me personally, like I love all the technical things, all the new technologies that kind of come out of basic research and engineering research, but a lot of times it's not particularly helpful when it comes to treating, and that's why we do clinical trials and things like that. So I'll be on the lookout for sure for any kind of trial that comes out of that. If it makes it, that'd be really cool. Using post-mortem, so moving on, using post-mortem tissue samples, scientists showed that SARS, so this coronavirus, COVID, enters the brain via nerve cells and the olfactory, so through the nose, the mucus cells, or mucus tissue of the nose. For the first time, researchers have been able to produce, okay, so let's see what this kind of looks like. This is German. I can't read German, so it's okay. Yeah. So where's the study here? I guess this is a cool finding, right? So it looks like, unlike the biomedical trials, right, of trying to figure out what a treatment does, this is pretty hard basic science, kind of looking at what happens when something happens. All right, this isn't looking at a treatment or anything. So the results show that the COVID virus enters the brain via nerve cells. So that was the headline of it. Experts from the fields of neuropathology, pathology, forensic medicine, virology, and clinical care studied tissue samples from 33 patients who had died at either Charité. Someone can let me know what that is, because I'm not actually too aware. I guess that's the hospital. Oops. Did I lose it? I'm sorry. some random clicking on my part. My bad. But that's the hospital that this seems to be coming out of the research center. Using the latest technology, science, the researchers analyzed samples taken from deceased patients. That's unfortunate. I wonder how. I mean, it's morbid, but I wonder how fresh that was, right? The olfactory mucosa revealed the highest viral load. Using special tissue stains, the researchers were able to produce the first ever electron microscope images of intact coronavirus particles. That's cool. Within mucosa. They are found both inside nerve cells and in processes extending from nearby supporting epithelial cells. Cool. Yeah, so this is cool. I mean, it's just looking at, these are, so if you're not familiar, the kind of blue staining, those are the nuclei. And it looks like, oh, here it says right here. So nerve cells, pink. All right, so those are I guess the processes. I don't know if those are axons or dendrites. I don't know my neurons anymore. I used to way more. And the virus is in yellow. So I wonder how they did that. I guess it's just antibody staining, right? Is it antibody staining, or is it because you could stain antibodies, but you can also stain specific like RNA or DNA for that matter. I don't remember reading it through here. So anyway, that's cool. Pretty images there. All right, let's do. Yeah, we're hitting up against time for me anyway. This was kind of a test morning stream to see what I could do in the morning before we have some work to do. And I love going through this stuff. It's really fun. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to put it in the chat if you're watching along. And I also love chatting about anyone else's science that they have going on. That's really fun for me. So if you're into that too, please do that. Great. So we got, let's find one more. There's so much COVID stuff that I hate not talking about it. Oh boy. I'm not gonna lie, I've been really interested in COVID-19 and vitamin D. So I'm gonna jump into this a little bit to see where it gets me. Okay. Will I be able to? Yeah, so it should be open source. Okay. I hate reading these in if you've watched this stream at all, I hate reading these in the Firefox browser or any browser really. One second, let me just adjust something here. If you're in the chat, say hi. Good morning. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I need coffee. I very much enjoy my coffee. Oops. Yeah, that's me. So I unmuted one of the streams. Very, 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 very good. Very good. Everything's going well. So, okay. So let's get back to this. So, COVID-19 mortality increases with northerly. Is that a northerly? I just learned a word, guys. Northerly latitude after adjustment for age, suggesting a link with ultraviolet and vitamin D. What journal is this? What journal is this? All right, wait. First of all, let's take a step back. What kind of publication is this? Is it peer-reviewed? I would imagine. Is it a letter? Dear editors, we read with interest the review by... Okay. Among African Americans across the USA and Northern Latitude. Yeah, so obviously that's been a topic, right? Is there some biological reason that COVID is affecting essentially minorities in the U.S. at greater rates, right? There are definitely socioeconomic reasons, right? There are placement, location, and population density reasons, right? There are reasons that are probably related to having to. Well, I guess those are related to socioeconomic. I was going to say, if this population might tend to be lower income and have to do jobs that require more in-person work versus working from home, then that's also a factor, right? In exposure rates. So anyway, this was going back to, is there some kind of biological reason, and is that biological reason related to vitamin D, right? That's the, I guess, the big question. Let's open. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know what this tells me. I mean, I can read it, but I need the context of the paper. COVID-19 mortality per 1 million. You probably can't read that at all. COVID-19 mortality per 1 million population by country compared with latitude of capital cities. That seems like a weird way to do it. Like, right? Isn't that weird to organize it by the latitude of the capital city? I guess the assumption is that the capital city is the largest city, but like DC, I don't know, how large is DC? Anyone know? Let's see. Of Washington, DC. Okay, so that's like, let's say 6. Interesting. I didn't realize. Is that right? I didn't realize the population of DC was like larger than the population of Wyoming. We're learning so much. I thought it was going to be more biology today, but obviously not. Yeah. So like DC is obviously a large city, but it's not millions of people, right? Like, yeah. Like, isn't New York, how many millions of people is New York City? Anyway, going off on a tangent. Yeah, I guess the big question, right? Population density expressed per country was not significantly associated with mortality. Bring back this paper. Okay. So let's read like what they actually claim in the end. This seems like just a letter. So it's not, yeah, it is letter. Okay. Which is fine. I prefer like a full study so that we can read everything. I need to break this down a little more, but it looks like I can't find, I know I'm like kind of doing my speed reading thing, but it's not, I'm not really finding this. All right, usually what you can do is in like a good solid publication or, you know, research article, right? You can kind of go through and find, you know, each paragraph, the first line will have like the main point of it. And then you kind of from there read the details afterwards, right? Just like any good essay, right? And that's interesting too, the age adjustment by, or the age adjustment, I guess, is necessary because I don't know what the, you know, obviously there are countries with older populations, especially, I guess, more northern countries probably have older populations in general, for many reasons, unfortunately. The age adjustment was highly significant, with an estimated mortality increase of 13. Well, that's crazy. Almost 14% for each 1% increase in percentage of the population that's over 65. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, they did the age part there. So where did they find vitamin D? Like, where is that link? If you have any ideas, feel free to send them, because I don't know what's going on here. I just realized I might not be able to read. There we go. Okay. This wasn't sure, because I want to make sure that everything's working well, and sometimes that doesn't happen. Evidence linking vitamin D deficiency severity is circumstantial but growing. Yeah. Okay. If the association between vitamin D deficiency and COVID-19 severity is causative, the disease should prove seasonal. Okay, wait. Yeah, I guess so. Since more severely affected individuals are infectious for longer. Yeah, but like, isn't that a weird... That's kind of a weird statement, right? Because there are many reasons during the winter that a disease could be more prevalent, right? So in the winter, the air is drier, right? Obviously, it's colder and drier, and those tend to be, at least from my knowledge and from my understanding and my work, colder and drier tend to be better for the longevity of viruses in the environment, right? That's why when you're working with viruses, when you're working for viruses, when you're getting paid by them, but also when you're working with viruses, you end up freezing them down, or you have to freeze them in a special way, or you try to keep them as cold as in general, because it helps maintain either the DNA or the RNA, whatever the genetic code is, of that virus, and also all the other pieces, the proteins and the lipids. We agree that very high vitamin D doses should only be taken in the context of clinical trials. Is that very high? Because I take like a lot. In case you couldn't tell, I might be affected by vitamin D more than a lot of other people. So anyway, that's interesting. I don't know if this is a very helpful article though. Okay. So that was cool. I'm glad I did this quick little test. What I want to do, let me just check something here. Make sure I'm not missing out on something I need to be informed about. And if you're watching, say hi. Feel free to jump in. Let me know what science you're interested in, if you're interested in science at all. This is meant to be kind of a fun stream, informative, kind of fun though. And I try to make science a little more accessible than people like to think it is. And in general, I think it's actually pretty accessible, except papers can be hard to read. If you're reading a paper not in your field or not like adjacent to your field, which I try to stick to things adjacent to my understanding of biology and medical research, then it gets hard. It gets hard to track and follow, and especially the the most cutting edge papers, right, usually require the most profound understanding of the background of that material. And a lot of times the background sections of those papers just, it's hard to get all the nuance and to see where something fits. And if you're a good writer or you're working with a group of good authors, that usually happens. And, you know, most good publications will have a really helpful background section, right? So let's switch to this for a little bit. I just got to check my timer to see what's going on. Okay. So we've got 3 or 4 more minutes before I'm going to wrap up here. But if you're watching, thanks for hanging out with me. Really appreciate that. And I'm going to drink some coffee. It's the morning. I realize this mic is very sensitive and can pick up everything. So I'm sorry if you're having to hear me drink. But know that this is refreshing. It is refreshing coffee. Slightly cold. Still refreshing. Yeah, I keep seeing this pop up right here. This COVID-19 likely. Oh, thanks. Hey, good morning. How's it going? Yeah, so I keep seeing. Thanks, man. I hope you're doing well too. What are you up to? Hey, Johnny. I thought so. I'm like, I remember this name. I thought it was you. How you doing, man? It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. And I know you're still up to, I hope you're still up to being the science drum with me along with everyone else. It's been particularly important the last couple of years. So thanks for hanging in there. Just logging into work. That's what I should have done probably 15 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. So actually, I have my laptop right to the side of me here. Yeah. So I've been like, there's been a lot of news, obviously, about COVID-19 on Reddit and in general. So I've been trying to get through that, and I've had the itch to make more content online. And obviously, I do a lot of content work for clients in my job, but that's stuff I can't really talk about in general. I mean, I can point people to it, and I tend to, but I can't really say anything about what my involvement was. So I figured try to get a little of this done on my own, and then when I have time, I'll probably stream. I just started Monster Hunter. I'm not good at it. I'm really bad at it. But I figure I can play a game and talk about science if people are interested too at the same time. So I'm hoping to do that and have more fun doing that too. I forget, were you a bit of a gamer? I know Jesus was, and that's what we talked about a lot more, was anime and gaming and stuff. Ooh, cyst reduction by melatonin, a novel Drosophila model of polycystic kidney disease. That's what I worked on as a graduate student. Yes, sir. You're a gamer. What are you gaming nowadays? I've been, some of the friends I had in grad school who were part of the undergrad StarCraft club. We've been playing Heroes of the Storm every week on Fridays, and that's been our fun. I'm playing some PS4, not PS5. No, I'm kidding. No one has a PS5. No one I know has a PS5. All the cool people on the internet have one. Rainbow Six Siege, Valhalla. I've never been to the Assassin's Creed games. I never tried them. I'm also not good at playing super long games, which is why I started Monster Hunter, I guess. I don't know. But those are cool. I started what was it, back during, I guess when everything kind of started locking down in March. I started Division 2. I have to get back into that. I thought it was really fun. It was a good game for just like, it doesn't take a lot of mental capacity, so it's nice to play along with. And yeah, like I said, I just got Monster Hunter World this past weekend for Black Friday. It was on sale. It probably still is on sale. So I'm like just 2 hours in or so, but I think I want to stream that. Okay. The Viking theme. Yeah. It seems cool. I've watched a couple of people play a bit of it. If I were ever to get into one of those games, that is more of a setting that I'm interested in than I have to give them credit, right? They've done really cool settings. They've done obviously America, London, Egypt. Was it Greece that they've done too? So it's kind of cool that they're hopping around. I would love to see. Wait, have they done any Asian or African ones? Because man, I would love to like. I guess Egypt's in Africa technically, but how about somewhere not around there. I would love to see something that we haven't seen before. Is there a South American one? It's like, oh, I started playing Odyssey. Yeah, Greece was Odyssey. There might be a delay on the stream. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of popping up, but yeah. There was one thing I wanted to talk about on the stream, but I think I'm gonna save it. So I was gonna like go over the how vaccines work page from the CDC, which I thought was really simplified and good. They actually put out decent resources. I like what they write here, and I use some of it for work, not for COVID. I don't do anything with COVID. So now after the holidays, what are you thinking spread would look like? Oh boy, I almost don't want to think about it. It's so after Thanksgiving, we're gonna see. Man, it's sad to talk about. I think we're gonna see the effects of people having Thanksgiving dinners, and it's unfortunate. We kept my young family, just my wife and kids. We stayed home. We had a little dinner by ourselves. But I know, we had extended family that got together, and we want everyone to be together, but we also know that all it takes is, someone getting really sick from this virus, and that's devastating, right? Even I hate when people talked about like death rates, right? It shouldn't be just about death rates. It doesn't take a death to land you in the hospital and make you lose your job and go bankrupt and have potentially lifelong consequences, and if not lifelong, just long term, right? So anyway, don't want to think about it too much, but I think there's going to be a spike, and I know my friends who are doctors and nurses, especially in North Jersey, are seeing not the spike from this holiday yet, but are definitely feeling it. Yeah, you had family that refused to not change their travel plans to Florida. So they went down to Florida. Yeah, I know. And it's getting not great everywhere. And people, I get it. People are tired. People are tired of being locked down. I'm tired of not going in. I haven't been anywhere really. I haven't really done anything outside of the house. We went to the shore once. I literally sat on the beach for like 2 hours. But it was with, it was for my wife's family and stuff. So it was fun. But other than that, and then like a couple of small family get-togethers outside, and as socially distanced as we can. We have, the kids are kind of running around. So, that's a risk we feel like we have to take sometimes, but, yeah, it's unfortunate. And I know, I'm probably at higher risk, and a lot of my family is at higher risk. So we're just hoping for the best. But yeah, what I hope to stream a little later on is going over this, understanding how COVID-19 vaccines work. It's interesting. And this is a very basic outline. Yeah, we're working against ourselves by not quarantining and letting this curve flatten. Yep, we sure are. It's tough, and I get it. People don't believe it's a problem until it's in their lives, and that's a lot of life, right? We've seen it. I know you and I have seen it personally, and I know you with your work on climate change. You're probably seeing it more now, right? And I keep thinking about it every time I see a house on the shore for sale, I think of you and your work and thinking about how these, especially in Jersey, how these shore towns are getting flooded. Not great. And not even shore towns now, it's other lower lying areas with water. We're just seeing it. All right. But obviously that's your field, and I'll have to get you on at some point and maybe talk about that stuff. All right, man. So I'm going to actually cut this off so I can get to my actual work, which I'm a little late for. I have to go apologize. All right. So thanks so much for joining me. Really cool talking with you and anyone else who's watching. Appreciate it. Have a good day, and I will see you later. Bye, everyone.